Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome. That's on. Welcome back to the Idaho Business Podcast. As always, I'm Spencer Ward, ready to rock and roll with you all. I'm rocking it solo again today, and as always, we're sponsored by my company, New Clean Commercial Cleaning. If you need any janitorial assistance to help you in your facilities, large or small, from Burley, even up to the Twin, all the way to Rexburg, give us a call, 208-254-7070. We are the home of the We Are Not Perfect guarantee, where if you have an unsatisfactory service and we don't fix it within 24 hours, you don't pay for it. So there you go. Now, today, I hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend. You're coming on to this new week and you're just enjoying life and you're having a positive mental attitude and you're just ready to conquer. Because at times in our business, we deal with setbacks. We deal with mass exoduses at times with employees. If you're in that type of industry that you're like, my goodness, how many more could leave this week, but how do we learn from these type of setbacks? How do we not find ourselves rotating back into a form of insanity? Because it's something we've always done, and it's something my dad always did. It's something his dad always did, and it's something his dad always did. Talking if you had a family business. Now, the things that got you to that stage, more than likely, especially in this day and age, is not going to get you to the next stage of your business. Meaning, when setbacks happen, there's got to be some changes. Obviously, right now we see people struggling to hire. You see hiring signs all over Idaho. And I feel bad for these employers because we all need people at this point. And I feel like, obviously we're trying to be as fair as we can with these employees. We pay them the rates that we can afford and raise our costs and rates as much as we can with our customers. But if you haven't asked yourself, what can I do different that I haven't done before? You're behind the ball. You're behind the 8-ball, and you've kind of just shut things down because that's how I hired in 2019 or 2018. It's got to continue to work today. And I know we've talked about this over and over again, guys and gals, but it doesn't. You've got to change things up. You've got to put systems into place. Things that you haven't thought of before, you got to do. Just because you've done, maybe someone implies, let's just go through this. Someone implies on Indeed or Facebook. Great, you have an applicant. My wonderful little applicant I don't want to chase away. It's exactly how we all feel. But say you need 2 or 3 positions filled in the same type of category. Now, with this type of situation, I feel like sometimes we just make individual calls and try to set up interviews and stuff like that. But what's wrong with having an automated system that forms a group interview first? And if group interviews aren't right for all industries, I understand. If you're trying to hire an accountant, whatever, or if it doesn't just gel with your core values, then fine. But group interviews are a great way to get in front of a lot of people, ask them all different types of questions, and then select who you want to move forward from there. Now, I know what you're saying. This guy's talking about group interviews, group plural interviews, when we can't even find one applicant. Okay, again, let's go back. Let's dissect this a little bit more. What are you doing to get applicants? Are you just simply putting a paper on your door saying hiring, listing positions you're hiring for, or maybe putting it in the newspaper? Come on, guys, gals. It's 2022, coming up on 2023. We got to get with the times. You got to spend some money. You got to be on Indeed. You got to be on Facebook, and depending on your profession, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, whatever you need to do. Put stuff everywhere. Spend some money. My industry, my company, we're spending well over $1,000 monthly in these different avenues, and sometimes more, especially when we need people. And we did just have a setback. We did have quite a few people just leave, new people and stuff like that. And it's an opportunity to learn, okay, what's going on here. So we've learned from a few things, and if you're not learning from that, you're doing something wrong as well. Figuring out why people are leaving. And sometimes it's just, people are crazy. They'll start a shift and they just will bug out, and you'll never hear from them again. But there's other reasons too that you need to pay attention to. So getting back and posting places, jobs in different places, that's a start. Okay. But now you're saying, oh, hey, Spencer, I'm already doing that. Still not getting the applicants I need, the amount of applicants that I need. Okay. Well, let's go even further. What are you doing with your core values? Is your job ad so incredibly boring that people are like, great, another boring job to read through? Great. What makes you different from X, Y, and Z company down the road? That's your telltale sign there, people. Number one, listen to some episodes in the past where we talk about how to come up with your own core values, how to create these core values, and then run your business with these core values. Write your job postings with these core values, because if you do that, you do look and feel, and you are different. But you have to match that, excitement or the vibe that you put out with that posting with the follow-up interviews, the follow-up calls. However that vibe is, you've got to, you can't just make up, random core values. If you're someone who doesn't like people and is not, doesn't really have a sense of humor, then you don't want to, write this job posting with a lot of humor and make it sound like it's a very extroverted company, because you'd be lying to them at that point. So be honest with them and write something that's unique. I'm telling you guys and gals, there are so many boring jobs out there that are just posted on Indeed, and Indeed, they push it. They tell you to be as boring as possible. Put all the benefits up front, all this kind of stuff, all this and this. This is what attracts the people. Sure, they're going to want to look at that stuff, but that's not what catches their eye right off the bat. It's getting to know you and what you have to offer them, and what they even can offer you. And if they feel like they can read a job posting and think this company's a fit, I definitely got to see this through. You're going to see more applicants. You're going to see more people showing up to those interviews, and you're going to see better quality employees. But then there's got to be follow through once they're brought on staff. It's not just, hey, this is how we've always done it. Go bury yourself back in that back cubicle and get to work. Peace. No, show them some love. You got to go out there, make sure they're feeling, the training's going well. Really just think of things to do to help these people feel love, make them feel like they're a cherished member of your team. Find ways to improve your processes. And if you find people that, once you establish your core values, that are in your company, even if they've been there for a while, and you're thinking, man, this person's loyal and he's been here forever, or she's been here forever, but she doesn't really mesh with my core values, and they're very negative, and employees complain about them, that might not be a fit, even though they've been there forever. Sometimes you'll get rid of someone, and your employees will come up to you and say, what took you so long? Especially after you have core values established. Anyways, I digress a little bit here. So those are some options when you're trying to hire and dealing with employment setbacks. And the big thing is change your story. Change your story that you tell yourself in your head, because what you tell yourself, the story you tell yourself, is what you believe. So if you change your story of, okay, oh, my company's, we're in trouble, we're not going to last much longer. If we lose one more employee, yada, yada, yada. It's so negative. And you're probably hunched over and you're upset, you're stressed. Your wife probably doesn't like to be around you. Your husband probably doesn't like to be around you. Your kids probably don't like you. They see that. Change your story. Find that gratitude in your life, that positive influences in your life, and look for the things that are going well. And then change your story of positivity as you're going forward and say, okay, this and this has not worked in the past. I'm not going to repeat those things right now. I've got to change a few things. What can I do differently to make my situation better? And if you're asking those questions and keeping yourself around positive people and keeping your positive story in your mind, I'm telling you, you will accomplish so much more. And the people around you in your inner circles will like you a lot more. Now let's move on to, another situation where, maybe you have management leave permanently, or maybe they go on a long vacation and you're thinking, oh my gosh, there is so much that I'm going to have to take care of. I'm going to have to do. Number one, it shouldn't be that way. There should be systems in place. Like we talked about in the last podcast before, how I want to be able to leave at the end of this year, if I wanted to, for an entire year, and make sure systems are in place. So if management leaves or they take a long vacation, you're thinking, holy crap, what have I got to do to keep this thing floating? Use it as an opportunity to streamline. Number one, find avenues where you're thinking this task has to be done every day the same way, and it takes a lot of busy work, but it's important, but it's not my time important. And even for my manager, maybe it's not the most best way for her to spend her time, or him to spend his time on this kind of stuff. Think of ways to automate systems. And again, I've talked about virtual assistants a lot, and people are thinking, if you're thinking at this point, after me talking about virtual assistants, that it's a bunch of phony, crazy stuff and wouldn't a crazy idea you wouldn't even think of, then you're listening to the wrong podcast. I'm telling you that right now, because I'm telling you, you can find virtual assistants for 5 to 10 hours a week. They're not looking, there's people that can do all this kind of stuff for you. Hey, when this happens, send this email to this person. When this happens, text this person. When this happens, do this. When this happens, track it on this spreadsheet. All that kind of stuff can be taken care of. There's so much busy work that we could offload it off of your plate, your manager's plate. And even when it comes down to, hey, there's equipment's not getting repaired, it's sitting in our shop, or whatever it is in your industry, inventory's not being rotated correctly. There's ways to automate the systems, even if it's people there on the ground. There's things that you can put in place saying, okay, on the 6th of every month, you do the X, Y, and Z. By the 15th, if X, Y, and Z is not done, then I need, obviously that's got to get done. So, it's a bad mark on you, but then you also have to do the X, A, B, and C. Those, going through that scenario of when this happens, do this, when this happens, do this, really can help streamline your process. Like we've had a manager leave on a long vacation, and I've already found multiple opportunities to streamline some things that will make us run more efficient, make our management team run more efficient, obviously make them happier because they're dealing with less busy work, and things are just clicking in business. And we're not worrying about these small little aspects that get overlooked at times. And then all of a sudden it's been a month and you're like, holy crap, there's a backlog of stuff I got to get accomplished. If you just thin slice things and put a few of these tasks to your virtual assistants, things will work. I have a virtual assistant right now from Nigeria. I'm going to have her on the show one of these days. She's fantastic. She's fantastic. She works maybe 10 hours a week, but she is on the ball. And I know many of you are going to say, well, they're not in our time period. Well, when it's, by time 3 o'clock rolls around our time, yeah, it's about time where she's not going to be working anymore until she wakes up in the morning. But man, doesn't matter. As long as you have a good system and you can make videos of yourself, how to do this, how, give her a spreadsheet, share that kind of stuff. Google Docs and Google Sheets are great form for that kind of stuff, because you just go back and forth. there's so much you can accomplish. This gal of ours helps with the hiring, helps send the initial hiring emails, helps send the schedules, helps send the invites to the different apps we use, and it helps with our HR stuff. She's fantastic because she knows the guidelines and the sidelines of where to play. If you give her, if you give these assistants, these rules and regulations of how this needs to be done and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and what's even in the yellow area, I'm telling you, they're going to perform better. If they do not work, if you just say, hey, I've got this glob of work, get it done. Here's a spreadsheet, figure it out. No, you got to say, you got to take some time. But I'm telling you, you take time one time and you film yourself, video record yourself doing it, sharing your screen, whatever it takes. That's all it's going to take. Your life's going to be easier. You're going to have a great virtual assistant helping you. Or this even can help with maybe office manager or anything like that you can thin slice and put some of these things on other people. It's going to make you run a little bit better. It's going to run your company better, and you're going to have more time to show employees love that you want to, and to do those fun things that you are looking forward to. So, in conclusion, if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking, man, he has talked about core values and systems and virtual assistants over and over again, and I'm still living in the Stone Age with my analog phone, thinking, well, I just got to call these applicants and make things happen. Or when my manager leaves or someone quits, my wife and kids aren't going to see me for 10 days. You're doing it wrong. I will tell you over and over again, there's better ways. And if you like to be that person that takes pride in how much you work and like to brag, oh, I worked 16-hour days yesterday and today, and you take pride in that, I can't help you. I don't think anyone can help you. But if you take pride in seeing your company run, even when you're not there, because you put in systems and you did the high dollar work to put these things in place, then you're in the right place. But you've got to take action. You got to start changing. If you could have saw my company even 5 years ago from where it is today, how the 180 that we have taken on how we do things is dramatic. But I'm telling you, we are a lot stronger company. We're a lot better place because of those systems and the things we're doing. Obviously, we're not a perfect company. We have a lot of flaws. Every company does. But if you're constantly trying to refine things and streamline things, you're going to get better. Your company's going to get better. You're going to be healthier. You're going to make more money, and you're going to have more free time. That's the biggest one. Because at the end of this life, the good Lord, he's not going to say, well, you accomplished X, Y, and Z in business. Great. You're going to want some balance. You're going to want that. You're going to want to be there at your T-ball games, your kids. You're going to want to be there for weddings or, date nights for your wife. Those are the things that really matter. So go out there, go dominate your week, go strive for greatness, and find ways to make your life better and your company more profitable. Adios, amigos. Go out there and kill it. Bye-bye.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.